What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Nerdthusies Poker Podcast. We're back yet again. So first and foremost, make sure you check out our sponsor, theslotsquad.com, the exclusive #1 place for all the legal signups for casinos and betting sites in the legal states of the United States. So New Jersey, Michigan, I think West Virginia is now in there, Pennsylvania, and then a slew of other sports betting sites that are now legal in like a ton of other states. So go check them out, theslotsquad.com. I stream on there some nights. We have a bunch of streamers on there. You can get some free prizes, some t-shirts, some all kinds of great stuff. So go over there, check it out, theslotsquad.com. Sign up, get some free money, free bonuses for going over there and doing that.
The last event, which this kind of coincides with when you're going, and we talked about wanting to play this in 2020, but they weren't able to hold it because obviously the series was canceled, and then last year they didn't bring it. The $1 Million Mystery Bounty.
Mystery Bounty.
And like, listen.
This is going to be huge.
These events are just like total FOMO when they were having them, out in Vegas. I'm sitting there watching these guys pull these tickets. All right, well, hold on. So with the Mystery Bounty.
Yeah. Rewind.
Yeah, I know.
Bring it back.
Rewind.
Explain what is a mystery bounty.
Okay, so with the mystery bounty, okay, the buy-in for this particular event is $1,000, with 300 of the buy-in being set aside to go into this bounty prize pool. Okay, so how it works is this: there's 4 starting flights, starting on Saturday, July the 2nd, and they runs through Monday the 4th. And on Monday they actually have a morning flight and then an evening flight, with the evening flight being turbo style. So how it's going to work is, if you happen to make it to day 2, every eliminated player, or every player that you eliminate, you'll be given a bounty ticket. And then I don't know how they'll have it. We've seen like big drums where you spin it. It's kind of like a raffle. After a certain time in the day, you'll be able to redeem your bounties for the players that you eliminated, and you'll be able to pull a mystery envelope. And then when you open the envelope, there's prize money guaranteed, ranging from, and they haven't announced what the range would be, but I would think it's going to be at least.
It depends on how many people buy into the event.
I would think it's going to be, if they're pulling 300, it's going to be over $300.
Yeah.
And with one mystery bounty prize of $1 million.
And there's other bonuses too.
Yes. So this gives you, again, an opportunity to, 1, win some of your stake back in bounties, or ship and still get money. So I feel like of all the tournaments that the series offers, like the tag team we played that one year, that was fun, real, like real laid back, real like everyone's kind of rooting for each other. This just adds a little bit more enjoyment to the overall like grind.
This has been something I've been looking forward to for 2 years, and then this past year I've actually played in two mystery bounties myself. And little flex, got to throw it out there. I'm 2 for 2 cashing in the events.
Yeah.
So I played one down in Florida. I went down for the circuit events at the Isle Pompano. Played down there. And so here, I'm going to give a little advice, maybe a little, I don't know if it's strategy, what do you want to call it, but a little bit of advice of what I went through and how it affected me and how I kind of saw it, and I could see it definitely happening for this. Went down there, I played that, the ring events, and then they had a mystery bounty one night. It was like a $200 buy-in or something like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. And so the way it worked, everyone in the initial, until the rebuys were over, anyone you took out did not matter. There was no bounty for it. Once the re-entries were over, then they started. Now, there was X amount of prizes. Now, for that one, it was smaller. So the biggest one was like $1,000 mystery, and then there was like a $750, two $500s, two $250s, like so on. And then the minimum, I think, was like $75 or something like that.
All right.
So every time you took someone out, they gave you a ticket. Now, you had the choice. You could either redeem it right away. They put you on a list if you want it right away, or you could just wait and you could get it picked later. So you could go with it. Now, while those big ones are still out there, it's a frenzy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I'm all in. You got like 4 callers calling you trying to score that $1,000, right?
Uh-huh.
So can you imagine for $1 million? Like, people that have stacks were just gunning.
Well,
like,
yep.
It
gunning.
definitely
changes the dynamic of play.
Yeah, so you got to play, if you're going to go all in, you got to play tighter, because you can't just ship in like, playing like GTO strategy, like, oh, I had king 8 offsuit, and I just know in the hijack position that
yeah.
No, it's like, bro, you call king 8, you're getting,
Getting
5
snapped off.
You're getting snapped off with anybody.
Yeah, you're getting snapped off with like deuce 9.
Yo, everyone's snapping off. But once those big bounties went out of play, it then tightened up a little bit.
Yep.
So
That makes sense.
yeah, and then so we end up making a final. We end up chopping a final table, and then what was cool was I think we all had one bounty left, but all the big prizes were gone except for like a 250, I think, or like one bigger prize was left. So at the final table, we all just pulled our bounties back, and then we just opened them up ourselves, and then took them on the chop. So that was cool. Second one, I played the Rivers Mystery Bounty in Pennsylvania last month.
Yep.
So this was more like this structure, the $1 million one, where day 2 is where the mystery bounty started. So day 1 was normal play. Again, no bonus buys for the mysteries. Whatever you took out didn't matter. Day 2 it started, and I think there was 31 or something like that. 31 mystery bounties, and the regular ones were just I don't remember. They were like $200 a piece or something, $150 or I can't remember off the top of my head what they were. But they had 2 $10,000 bonuses as their big ones.
Yep.
And what was crazy about that event was I think we were down to
You were like down to like
30
people.
Yeah, and there were still 2 $10,000 bounties.
That was such a sweat. That was awesome.
But then some like crazy, you start thinking some like, I don't want to say crazy math, but you start figuring out because I was like, dude, I had a hand where I ended up taking like 4 or 5 bounties that tournament or something, but they were all the bottom bounties. I didn't get any big ones. But what was crazy was when we were down to like 30 or 40 people left, there were still 2 $10,000 things.
Wild.
Now this event was only, what was it, a $400 buy-in or something like that?
It was $350.
$350.
Yeah.
So here's where the dynamics got weird because I was like one spot where I knew I was behind, but I was like, all right, I'm probably like a 30% or 40%. Like I, let's say, had like King Jack or something like that. And I'm like, all right, so if they have 9s or 8s, I'm flipping on 50-50. If they have Ace X, I'm like 60-40, right? So now, like, there's dudes going all in, and I'm like, dude, there's 40 people left. Okay, so there's 2 of these 10 left, so I have a 1 in 20 chance of pulling one if I get a bounty. And I'm like, I'm 40%. I'm like doing all this math in my head, and I'm like,
it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like,
I mean,
I'm calling.
It makes sense to call like a little behind.
Yes,
hoping to just bink. Yep.
Exactly. And so these were happening, and then once the 10,000s were out of play, it kind of started going back to a little bit of normality.
Tightened up a little bit.
But it was crazy. The other thing that's funny too is that when people are going up to pull them, dude, everyone stops, everyone looks, and then what's also funny is like people when one like a big one's pulled because they had like 2 2500s.
They're fucking like, booing.
People are billing them. They're like hey, the dude's like, I just won 10 grand. Everyone's like, boo. Like, everyone's pissed. Like no one's excited for the dude.
I know.
It's like an anti-sweat.
That's the thing. Like I that atmosphere would be so enjoyable
especially
to me
at the WSOP.
Because again, people like sometimes you sit at the poker table and it's so like serious and there's like so much tension. Like that just would it's like a circus. It would make it so much fun.
It's a degenerate's dream. It's like lottery and poker mixed in one. It's a scratch off / poker tournament. It's awesome.
This is another event that I fully anticipate getting absolutely huge numbers. Just getting back to it, it's a 5-day event. Like I said, they have 4 starting flights, $1,000 buy-in. You can rebuy once per flight. So if you're a complete degen, you can fire up to like $8 grand at this thing. And even then, it might be worth it. If you do make a deep run in day 2 and start banking some bounties. Late registration for this one ends after 12 levels, so they're gonna see a decent number of entries. 40K start stack, which isn't bad. Just the flights, they're 30 minute blind level. Sorry, not the flights, the blinds, and then obviously the last flight, the turbo, it's 15 minutes. So it's like, I mean, you're more of a turbo player than I am. I probably wouldn't be buying into that last flight. I'd probably do one of the earlier ones. But yeah, those are my 3 premier events. Definitely looking to get into one of them. I know you're going to try and be there for the $1 million bounty, but I think I might be depending on what happens.
It depends. I'm going to be out there the week before, so it's all going to depend. I'm going to try to get into the mini main and a couple other things that week. So we're just going to kind of see how the week goes and make our determination if I'm going to stay longer or jumping on that stuff. I would love to jump on that stuff, but it depends. It all depends on how my role is. Mm-hmm. after a week or so out being out there.
Cool.
We'll probably do in the future another podcast in the future when it gets closer. Maybe we'll do like a low value section. We'll talk about like some of the lowest buy-ins, or we'll talk about some of the high rollers as well. So
Yep.
make sure you tune in for that for future ones.